Something to Offer, the show that focuses on people making a difference with their special something to offer. Today our guests are Nancy Kirsch of dating service It's Just Lunch and Joan Goldstein of Conscious Singles Connection. And now the host of our show, Anne Marie Offer.
Hello and welcome to Something to Offer. Today's show is very exciting to me. Our show deals with people going after dreams and goals and creating their own success. And the two women we have today, the careers they've chosen, have really enhanced the lives of many people and helped in this modern age to have people meet their match. And sometimes, what I think sometimes the 90s is sometimes a matchless society, so it's very difficult in a city like New York to meet a mate, and these two women have become modern-day matchmakers. So I'm very grateful to have with me today Joan and Nancy, and they'll share how they made their dreams happen and how it's happening for other people, that they're connecting together. So my first guest is co-founder of Conscious Singles Connection, Joan Goldstein. Thank you for being here, Joan. I really appreciate it. And I actually kind of got this whole idea because I was always afraid to do something like this, and I saw a little blurb. It wasn't really even an ad, more like a mention in a health magazine, and I thought how nice that it seemed a little less threatening. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how Conscious Singles Connection started? I know it started at first event they ever did was on the 14th of February, about 5 years ago. Is that right? Is that
right?
Okay.
Conscious Singles Connection began on Valentine's Day, 1990. My original partner, Ann Smith, and I started with a newsletter, actually, with personal ads, and it grew over the intervening 5 years to a service that now offers events as well as personal ads. So the 14th was just the first publication of the newsletter.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about how your organization functions and what kind of services you provide for somebody who would come to you, and what type of people come to your organization.
Okay. Conscious Singles Connection is a network for single people who are on the path of personal growth, spirituality, and healthy living, who want to meet others on that same path. They can meet in two ways. We basically provide both psychic and physical space for people to meet. On the psychic front, it's a newsletter with personal ads that people can answer. It's much easier than regular personal ads because when you join, you fill out a life profile form, and then we cross-send the forms to the person who makes the request and the person who gets requested. Mm-hmm. So there's no letter writing, none of that. And both people have information about the other. They can see whether the other person meditates or is a vegetarian or what interests they have in common. Mm-hmm. The events also draw people from this same path, and they're everything from little what we call open houses. They're modeled on cocktail parties, and people can drink, but they don't have to. We always serve vegetarian food, and it's amazing. People who come in as singles leave as couples. We see it time and time again.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I want to talk some more to you, but before we do, we did try to do a few reactions on the street, and we got this one couple. So let's take a look at their response to how they met and what they think about dating services. So we'll take a minute to look.
You obviously were single before you were married.
Yes.
How did you two go about meeting each other?
I'll let Charles tell you that.
Oh.
Well, we live in Norfolk, Virginia, and we met at a health spa. And
you did?
She was an aerobic instructor, and I saw her teaching the class. I even acted like I was interested in aerobics, and I fell in love, and I concocted some excuse to go out for a drink of a milkshake afterwards, and the rest is history.
Now, I see how he went about meeting you. Before you met your wonderful husband, how did you go about meeting people? Or was it through the same way? Through aerobics classes, you see these good-looking guys coming in?
Pretty much, sort of
Yeah.
things that you like to do, or better yet, I was trying to get my body in tip-top shape. So I spent a lot of time in health clubs, and you kind of look around, or even when you're not looking around, you're feeling so good about yourself that if the guys are there, then if the connection is there, it helps.
That sounds wonderful. Services where people, I don't mean like where you go to a computer and they figure it together and they decide for you, but if you went and you gave them information and you read it, how would you feel about something like that? If you weren't already, married and met somebody, how would you feel about it?
I think that might be a real nice shortcut, because it might take out some of the anxiety of even wasting money on a first date to find out the answers to those kinds of questions. You can see that you're going to be with somebody that has at least some interests that are similar to yours, or some connection, something you have in common with that person.
That's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing to say. I mean, do you have any thoughts on it?
I think dating services.
Yeah.
That's the question. I think they're good, basically, because you can find differences and similarities, and I think the two together are the two things that help them.
Anyway, I just want to put that in there because it seemed like some of the things they said go along with the way, you know, your organization works, and I'm sure the way, when we get to speak to Nancy, we'll find out how theirs works as well. I wanted to ask you a little bit about, was it difficult to start a business such as this, and what really prompted you personally to start a business like this?
Well, there was a movie a few years back, I don't know if you saw it, Field of Dreams, that had a line in it, "If you build it, he will come." And that's basically how CSC, how Conscious Singles Connection, operates. My original partner, Ann, actually already had that experience. She met her husband, Sean, through the personal ads, and she retired a couple of years ago. So now I have a new partner, an MSW named Melina Feder, who is absolutely the most wonderful right arm anybody could ask for.
That's great. Well, hopefully we'll get her to pop up for a minute because she is here in our audience today. So, how do you develop your clientele?
We, in a number of ways. First of all, a lot of people come because they heard about it from friends, and that really makes me very happy because, as anybody knows, the very best way to meet somebody is through friends. So I look at Conscious Singles Connection almost as a network of friends of friends of friends. Other than that, we do advertise primarily in holistic publications, some general interest publications as well, but things like Creations or Free Spirit, To Your Health, Vegetarian Times, publications like that.
Right. And also, all the people that aren't necessarily vegetarian or anything, that they're usually on a healthy path or a healthful path, so they have something in common, which is really wonderful. I want to, since we both do the same thing, I'm going to move on, and then we're going to talk a little bit more together. And before we move on to Nancy, I'd like to take a moment to see one of our offerings. Being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's so neat to have two people that do a similar thing but do it in a whole different way. So, Nancy, why don't you tell us what prompted you to go in this field of matchmaking, as I like to call it, and then tell us a bit about It's Just Lunch and how it functions.
Sure. Well, we started in Chicago about 4 years ago, and we've been in New York for 2 years. I personally went into it because I love people, and I love putting people together, and I do it for so many things. I mean, I do it for dates, for business things, for if someone's moving to another city. I'm like, oh, I know 3 people you can call because if you need a car and you need a doctor. So I just love doing that. So it's really natural for me. And I also have some background in psychology, so it's sort of like, this is what I was meant to do. It's great. We work a little bit differently in that we actually set dates up for people. It's a blind date. What happens is people will come in and fill out a questionnaire, and then we do an interview. And I take lots and lots of foundational notes of how I'm going to personally match that person. So we don't do computers or videos. So if you came to us and you joined, I would go ahead and match you with somebody who I sort of instinctually feel you might like, based on lots of things we talk about in the interview. We set the date up, we call people, we give each other their first names, we don't tell them each other's last names or phone numbers, so it's a tiny bit blinder than blind, I call it. And people show up at the restaurant, the reservations have been made in both of their first names, the maitre d's put them together, and then they're on their own.
Oh, wow.
And then after the date, what's really important is they call in with feedback. And they let us know what worked, what didn't, what they liked, if they're going to see each other again, and if they did like each other, we'll always take notes why, because they get a certain amount of matches.
What
So.
I know you work with some other people who started this company, and
They're in Chicago.
what prompted them to start it?
Well, Andrea was actually engaged, and her engagement broke up, and she just sort of was like, what do I do? Where do I go? I cannot believe I have to start to date again. And we just had a bunch of single people in Chicago that we knew, and we kind of started fixing all of them up, and she really was, I could put this one with this one and that one with that one, and it just sort of springboarded into this business thing.
So how do you go about developing the clientele for your company?
Well, we also have lots of word of mouth now, but we advertise.
You've done a lot of, you've been on TV a lot, though. I've seen some people.
We've had, knock wood, we've had lots of good.
I think Miss Oprah had you guys on, didn't she?
No, she was going to,
Right.
but we were actually
Preempted.
yes, for another service actually in Chicago, which we.
But I have seen you on, and I don't remember which one, but I've seen your organization on a couple of different talk things over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
it's really great.
We've had some good stuff.
So now, how does it work? The person comes to you, they do the interview, and it's a membership. How long is the membership?
Right. For the cost, there's 2 memberships people can purchase. You can do a 6-month membership, which is 6 matches for $500, and a year membership or 12 matches for $750.
It's a much better bargain to go for the year.
You definitely have the better bang for your buck for the $750. We also have better luck when people do 12 matches, because I'll probably take a tiny bit more chance when I'm matching if the person has done 12 matches, because I'm not so nervous, or, oh, they only have 6 matches, I really want it perfect. It's never perfect unless my client tells me it's perfect. So we've had much better success when people do 12 matches, because everybody's more relaxed about it. It's a lot more fun.
I would assume, I can only speak for myself, knowing that how difficult it is, to meet people or be comfortable with that. Those first couple times out, you just kind of have to learn how to do the thing.
Oh, dating is like a beast in and of itself. It's like a whole another thing.
It's scary. It is just scary. We're going to have to get to talking together really quickly, because there's so much we can share together. I wanted to ask you, Nancy, though, how do you go about planning and creating a business like this? And then I can get Joan's reaction after, to really, you talked about how well it just came out of whatever, but the nuts and bolts, like when people want to go after a dream or a goal and it's a business-oriented thing, was it tough to segue from this illusion of this idea, well, we want to help people and isn't this nice we call people, to making it a real concrete business?
We didn't really go about and plan it, so we're sort of, we're not great to talk to about that, because it sort of happened, and we found our way through just doing things. Our membership grew at a fairly nice clip in Chicago. We found out we sort of expanded faster than we thought we would. So you have to have people with you that know what they're doing. We got lots of advice from friends. We had friends in the ad agency business. We had friends who were photographers. We really were dependent, and Andrea, who is the president of the company, she was terrific as far as she's got a big finance background. So we just had all these friends giving us advice, do this, do that, make your next move like this, and then you hire someone to do that. So we were very dependent on our friends, which was great, because we trusted everybody.
It's very nice when you start something that people can see as a positive thing. Usually friends will come and support you, which is my I won't say reaction, but that's the reality of what happened for me in terms of this. Many people who work on this, people just, saw what I wanted to do and really have supported me beyond whatever I could have even imagined. So it's really wonderful.
It's like your friends who give you almost more vision than you have for yourself, because you're in it.
Right, and it's
you
hard
can't
to see
past one
Definitely.
problem or one, and so we're very grateful to lots of people.
Well, I'm so excited to have both of you here, so I want to get to talking together, but let's take one more offering, another quote, and then we'll be back to talk together. Okay. Great, we're back. Now we can sort of do this together because there's so much that you all have in common. And I wanted to ask you, Joan, since I just asked Nancy, the nuts and bolts of it, was that difficult? Did it just...
I tell you, I have to give the identical answer to Nancy.
Yeah.
This thing started, I mean, my original partner and I both had very full-time, very responsible jobs. This started sort of as a lark. What we originally did, to tell you the truth, was we put a $12 classified ad in Free Spirit, and we handed out brochures. We put them like on trash cans and in ladies' rooms and men's rooms at one of the New Age expos. And from that, we got our first few members, plus, of course, a few of our single friends, and it just kind of grew from there. We began to expand nationally and even internationally because without our doing any advertising or anything, we started to get calls in from India and Rome and Germany, all kinds of crazy places, you know, of people saying, well, I heard about this and I really want to do it. So we have moved now outward from New York and we're expanding nationally as well.
It must be really amazing to see, you know, what does that feel like to see something just so good move so quickly? I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know.
It's
great.
Exciting.
It's scary sometimes.
Terrifying.
But you're working with people, and that's, for me, that's a bit of security. You're not working with machinery, or you're just working with really, really nice people. So, you know, if something goes wrong, or it's not perfect, or it's not great, there's nice people, so you can communicate, or you can say, oh, I messed that up, I'm really sorry, or something. So it's really interesting.
It's got to be a lot of fun to be on that side, to see happy, you know, people becoming happy or finding a way or growing in that way. I mean, you mentioned how dating is just like, it's a beast unknown to most people. And, you know, it's like I'm coming out in this show. I mean, it's like this has always been a real difficult. I mean, I just never did much of it ever. Just that's not the way my life went. You know, I knew people, hung out with people. That wasn't it. And it's very hard to meet people. I mean, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. Or also feel comfortable about meeting people, like that whole bar thing. You know, forget that. You know, because I'm just not into that. But just to have a natural kind of a way to do it is very difficult, and people are very afraid.
Because I don't think dating, when you start dating, it's not really a natural thing anyway. So I think people, it's just, I want to say it is natural, but it isn't. If you just sort of go with the flow and you say, you know what, this is really weird, isn't it? Just dating is just strange. Instead of, you know, this is just what I do every day, that makes it more uncomfortable.
If you can acknowledge that you're a little uncomfortable and he's a little uncomfortable, then the date gets much better immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. Anyway, success stories. I have a couple letters to write, but what are right? I have a couple letters to write. Oh, that's like a Freudian slip. Maybe I will. But
maybe you will.
Yes,
maybe
I have a couple letters to read, but maybe I'll be writing one soon. Because actually, Joan, as an experiment, said, "Yeah, why don't you try?" So I'm trying. She's coaching me through a little bit. Just don't be nervous. Just, you know, do what you got to do. So I'm trying. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But success stories.
I'm dying to know about that.
What about success stories in It's Just Lunch? Do you have like one main one person that you can remember? Or you got anybody got married or?
Oh, we've had, well, Chicago, Andrea's way ahead of me because they've been there for 4 years, but we've had in two years and change, we've had 7 marriages, which is...
In New York?
Yeah,
that's great.
Very quick. I mean, figure these people met, got engaged, got married, and have been married. And we have 8 engagements, so those are pending marriages, and we have lots of couples.
And no babies yet. Do any of them have babies yet?
No, we just had a couple of weeks ago in Chicago, we had an It's Just Lunch baby.
Oh, That's so cool. That's great. And Joan gave me a couple little letters to read, so this will be great to read, so I'll read them if that's okay. Dear CSC, just a note to let you know that 1 week from today, I am marrying someone I met at your dance this past fall. It was only the second CSC event I had attended. We are very happy. Thank you. Sincerely, Susan Bowen. So she might not have even took a full membership. She might have just been a friend of a friend that came to one of their events, because they have we didn't talk about all your options, but we should. That you can just go to the events, you could just get the list, or you could do a 6 months, or do all of it. And this says, hello, Joan. This is 1995. Oh, they were both 95. One was just a month, less than a month ago, and one was 2 months ago. Hello, Joan. I have located a soul friend, and I'm getting better that I am getting better acquainted with. Please remove my name from the mail list until further notice. William. That's because they can hold their membership.
Right, just like a gym. You know, we don't want your name to be appearing in the personal ads if you're actually dating somebody and not really available and interested. It doesn't, you know, it's not good for you and it's not good for us. So we tell you to place your membership on hold while you're exploring a relationship.
That's great, because it gives a person something to fall back on, kind of thing. So, well, there's so many things, you know, to talk about. What is it like dealing with the personas? Like, here I am, Joan's already dealt with me a little bit, but actually it's just been like 3 weeks, right? And I called her and I said, I can't even read the form. I was so nervous. I mean, I couldn't even figure out what it cost, what you had to do, whatever. She's like, just, you know, take it easy, just answer these questions, and then you'll be able to fill out the thing. So I had to psych myself, and I wrote out the form. And then I said, okay, send it in. And I'm sort of doing it that's how I do everything, especially if something I don't want to do. I do it like a course. So it says to do this, I do this. So I'm the first person, they have these affinity lists. I said, well, a couple of these guys, I liked what their ad said, so forget it. I'm not going to write away for their profile. I'm going to call them right away. Well, I'm the first person that ever called any of these people from the list. And I said, well, I'm just kind of following these rules and instructions. So I did that, and that was okay. They had nice conversations, and one person I met, and they were very nice and fun, but I didn't know what I felt, you know, because I wasn't necessarily.
Did you, once you all talked, you set your own date up?
We set up that we'd meet for a cup of coffee, you know, kept it real simple. And we had a very nice conversation, but I didn't, you know, I don't know, I keep thinking.
Right, you won't necessarily click first time, just exactly as she said. If you give yourself a year, you're much more relaxed about the whole process. You know, if you think about your entire dating life, you probably didn't fall in love with one of the first 10 people you met, or one of the first 20. I mean, I have a friend who is now very happily married. She actually lives in Washington, D.C., where you're going to be expanding. And I'm not joking you, this very attractive, very successful woman dated 1,002 men before she met her husband.
Oh, God.
And do you want to know how she met him? Through a friend. Her college friend. He had been with somebody for 7 years, and he broke up, and then he was ready for her. But in the interim, she had to date 1,002 men. I'm not joking you.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. I mean, I could tell you about my director and our voiceover person, how they met at lunch, but it's just lunch, but through friends. And it's a great story. It's a great romance. And they knew immediately. You know, it was that kind of thing.
Sometimes you do, absolutely. I've certainly had that happen as well. But what I really counsel people is don't give up when you don't feel that click immediately.
But also, you shouldn't I'm thinking you shouldn't give up with that person. If you had sort of a nice time, I'm thinking, well, maybe you ought to, maybe you should try it one more time. But then you get well, you don't want to do something because you feel obligated, or not to them, but to yourself, because I'm one of these ones who, do everything until, never say die, and I don't know how to. I personally don't know how to balance that out with the thing yet. Well, but it's all new to me. So,
but CSC would advise you to center down, look inside yourself, do a little meditation or visualization, and then follow that feeling, that true feeling that came out of that.
We need to get healthier over it. It's just lunch, I think. That's good.
Meditate, breathe into it. What would you say your ultimate goals would be in terms of your work, each of you, and where you want to go with this, or where you'd like to see it go?
I'd like to match up the whole world.
That's great. What about you, Nancy?
I guess we're guilty of always wanting marriages, and more. But I think what's important is really not so much the marriages or the engagements. Those are great. They're wonderful. It's like a fix, you know. You get a marriage and it's just like, oh my God, yes. But what's really, really important are the people that are dating, that are actually doing the process, that are not the ones necessarily getting married yet, but they're still looking and they're still kind of like going for it.
Yeah, because that's hard.
That's the hardest part.
It's difficult to stay on track.
And there's just so many wonderful, wonderful people in all these age ranges that don't have a place or a source to meet. And I think it can be done lots of ways. It doesn't have to be just us or you. It can be done 10 different ways. So almost like everybody should just kind of pool their sources and have people meet people.
I'll tell you something the director of another dating service told me. She has had this happen many times to her, that people join her service and meet somebody not through her service. But what happens is that they take control of their lives and say, I want to do this, I'm open, and then it happens.
Well, that's kind of what when I said, well, it may not come from any of this, but because I took the action, made the cause, then it's now out there, you know, and I'm talking a little bit easier to people and trying to do more of that.
It's practicing and it's being proactive, and you feel better about yourself. You don't feel like it's going to drop from the sky, so you're taking one little step. Those are really important.
Prince Charming is not going to ride into your living room while you're at home watching Oprah.
As much as I would like that to happen, it wasn't. I know I said to somebody, well, it's easy, everybody else has it. And they said, don't you know it takes a lot of work? And I think the person should just kind of, I never had that experience with somebody who just walked to me and goes, hey, what are you doing? You want to go out? That's just not my reality.
You probably wouldn't talk to them. If somebody came up to you on the street in New York and said, you want to go for coffee?
I'd say, you're out of your mind.
Right. Excuse me, where's a policeman?
Yes, right. Anyway, you know what? We're out of time. I can't believe it. It goes so fast, but I want to thank you both. And it's like so tremendous what you're doing for people. And I just really applaud your efforts. And I hopefully I can tell people that somehow what you did for me will like move me into my plane of whatever that dream is in reality. Because I want to make that a reality, you know, to have a person significant.
Well, good for you for trying. See, you're trying.
I'm trying. So thank you both. Thank you for being here. If you need to get in touch with them, let me know. I'll hook you up. And we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Miss Offer's wardrobe was provided by Putumayo of New York. Our Echo videotape, courtesy of Studio Film and Tape, located at 630 9th Avenue. I'm Jeannie Devlin. If you liked our show, tell your friends or drop us a card, and please join us next week. We would like to thank our guests, and we would especially like to thank you for watching.